Hey everyone, Jeremy here. I'm in my home kitchen and we have another delicious recipe for you for our Cooking at Home series. And I'm also here with
Steph Gladman, and I am the registered dietitian. So for those who are looking for healthier snack options, we've got a great surprise treat for you. This recipe kind of came about because of all of our conversations of what shows people are watching on Netflix or Amazon, and the experience of going to a movie theater is obviously not happening right now, but we were talking about ways that you could bring that experience into your own home, and sometimes that might involve some delicious popcorn. So we figured, why not experiment doing something that was healthy, great flavor, and something that you could enjoy too.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the sort of convenience products of popcorn have overshadowed the original way to make it. So I think it's a really fun way to do it, and I think it actually comes out a lot tastier as well. So we're going to show you, and obviously you need some popcorn kernels. You can find those at hopefully most grocery stores, or maybe you probably even order it online as well. The wonderful thing about these kernels is that it's a dry product. It'll last in the pantry for a couple of years, easy. They do dry out over time, so it won't last forever. But as long as there's still enough moisture in them, they will pop. So we're going to show you a really simple way to make some popcorn. So we have our pot. The bigger pot, the better, especially if you're making a lot more popcorn. And we're going to put it over sort of like a medium-high heat. And I'm going to play with it a little bit. And I'm going to add my fat. So I'm adding 2 tablespoons of any oil that has a high smoke point. So even if you like buttered popcorn, you don't want to add butter now because it will burn a lot faster than, let's say, like a grapeseed oil or a canola oil or even like an olive oil. So you do want to start off with that. You can always add, if you like butter, you can always add it after. So we're
and this is something you want to focus on. What Jeremy said with the smoke point is that actually if it starts to burn, then it becomes carcinogenic. So that's something that you definitely want to avoid. So again, using an oil that has a higher smoke point is to your advantage.
Yeah, okay. And so now I just added about 2, actually I put 3 little kernels in there. And those are sort of going to be my test kernels, so that I know when the heat is right and we can add the rest of our ingredients. Don't keep your face this close to the pot. I'm doing it for the purpose of this video, but it's going to pop at some point, and it's going to probably fly out of the pan. So that's why it's your test kernel. But for the rest of the kernels I have here in my little container, I'm using about a little less than a 1/4 cup. So I have about 3 tablespoons in there. Every 2 tablespoons of kernels will make about 4 cups popped. So it actually makes quite a bit. So that's why even like a container like this will last you a pretty long time.
And then you have the kernels, right? So the popcorn, the corn kernels. These are a whole grain, okay? So they're high in fiber, which is a really great option to incorporate into a snack. Sometimes I top my salads with popcorn. Sometimes I can add them into soup. And the really great thing about what you're doing now is you have control over the amount of salt, the fat. If you like that sweet, salty taste, you're in control of how much you're adding. So again, this is a really healthy option because it is a whole grain, which means that it's not refined. Okay, it has lots more minerals and vitamins. They're not removing anything.
Right.
Oh, we're good.
Sorry. I don't even cut that. We're popped. So the rest go in, and I'm going to put my lid on, and I'm going to take it off the heat just for a second I'm going to give it a little shake, and that way everything sort of evenly comes up to temp. And then I'm going to put it back on to the pot. So everything's going to happen pretty fast at this point.
Are you popping now?
No, not yet.
But you had one pop.
One pop. So that test kernel, which who knows where it went, hit me in the arm, deflected somewhere else. But the test kernel is ready. The rest of the kernels have to come up to temp now, but it'll happen pretty fast. So what you want to do is, and especially if you have a handle that heats up, just use a dish towel, right? And we're going to give it just a gentle shake over that burner. Now, if you have a gas burner or this is just electric, glass top, it'll work the same way. So just give it like a gentle shake, and you will. So it'll probably take about 30, 40 seconds, but I can start to hear it now. The first few will pop a little quietly, and then it'll start to get much louder. I don't know if you can hear that. Can you hear that? You hear it? Awesome. That's the exciting part. It's so much fun to make popcorn as well. So as you hear it, at that point, you can turn your heat down to a medium. I don't want it too high at this point, but we're going to give it just a gentle shake every 5 seconds or so. And what that's going to do is it's going to help any of the popped popcorn sort of rise up to the top, and any of the unpopped kernels will sort of settle at the bottom where we want them. The other thing you want to do as well is every once in a while, let the steam out. You see the corn in there?
Yeah.
I don't want to take it off too much, but I do want to let just a little bit of steam out. And what that is going to help is to keep the popcorn a little drier, a little crispier. If I trapped all that steam inside, it would just make it a little soggy and a little wet. That's not fun. So once you hear, it's still popping, once you hear the last couple kernels pop, you can take it off the heat. So you can see how that's slowed down, that sound a little bit. So I'm going to take it off. It's still going to go a little bit, release a little bit more steam, and we'll turn off our heat. There we go. I think we're done. There's probably the last couple pieces there. So now we'll talk flavor. Let's see if we can get, okay, awesome. So flavor can be as simple as, if you like butter and salt, now's the time you can melt, a little butter, or you can use olive oil, and you use a little salt, keep it very simple. But the fun about popping your own popcorn is that you can get very creative with what you add on top. So here are a couple, I guess, more exciting flavors that I like to add on top. One is just some chili, some fine chili flakes. I know it's hard to see, but some fine chili flakes and some garlic powder. And this with a little bit of olive oil is super tasty, very savory. And then you can even grate some like Parmesan cheese on there if you want. And then the other one is, this is like a Japanese seasoning. It's called furikake, which is pretty much dried seaweed with some like dried sesames and some other seasonings in there. And that's got a nice little kind of savory umami flavor as well.
Did you make that yourself, or did you, is that?
No, you just buy it in the grocery store.
Gotcha.
Yeah. If you have a grocery store that has like a little sushi section as well, they'll definitely have it in that area. Okay, bowl. Especially if it's hot, make sure you use a dish towel. And we're gonna empty it out. And I'm telling you, this is gonna taste way better than any microwave popcorn. It's hard to compete with the movie theaters, but you don't have a choice right now. So go with this option. So our popcorn is in there. Now, because I let most of the moisture out, it's pretty crispy, but it's not going to hold on to any of these seasonings. So this is the point where if you want to add a little bit of melted butter, or in our case, I'm just going to drizzle just like a touch of olive oil, and then give it a toss. And I'll do it one more time. And it's maybe a tablespoon for the whole thing. I'm really not putting much at all. And give that a toss. And then add your favorite seasoning. So I'm gonna add a little bit of this garlic and chili mixture. And we'll toss that in as well. If you're gonna add any salt, try to use the finest salt that you have, because it just sticks a little bit better. I know that some people actually even take their salt and run it through a blender just to get it really, really fine, almost like a powder, and that helps it stick to the popcorn as well. But that is it. Popcorn is done. Didn't take any time at all. Super tasty. And now I have my delicious snack for my Netflix and chill. This is what I call it, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome.
See you later, everyone.